Morning, beautiful being. How are you today? I'd just like to create a little video saying how there's too much bystanding in the world. It'd be really nice if people who stood together in the forum and expressed what they believe to be true. So, for example, if somebody thinks that you're being mean, controlling, disrespectful, let's say there's a few other people in the room or in the house or in the Facebook conversation, then if anybody truly does have an opinion on this, a belief, they can say to somebody, hey, listen, let's say in the form of disrespect, I really don't believe this person's being disrespectful. I know them quite a lot. I know them much more than you. I know them well. And that's what I think, that they weren't being disrespectful. And this is you're not being against anybody doing this, but it's a really good thing to do, to lovingly show your truth. Stand on the side of truth rather than being a non-participating bystander. There's too much of this in the world. Think about all the bystanding with the mistreatment of people. I want to talk about animals just quickly first. Think about all the mistreatment and abuse, the enslavement, the butchery. It's really horrible, to be honest. Just thinking about it for a second, it's sad. You know, there's cows, there's slaughterhouses where animals are getting their throats slit with a huge sword or big knife. And I know it doesn't conjure a nice image, and I've seen these videos and images on the internet. But what's worse is being an innocent bystander. This is why the world is the way it is. It's because too many people are innocently non-participating bystanders. It's the same thing, if you see a mugging in the street, that's more of a trickier situation, to be honest, because you can get really, really hurt, and it could be just you and let's say two people mugging. And at the end of the day, who cares too much if your purse is robbed? It's not the end of the world. It's better than getting stabbed or something. So, but what about if you see a child or an animal being abused, or what if you know it's true in a household nearby? You could always call the police or the social welfare. Let's become more participating and stand up on the side of love and truth. We don't have to be against anybody or all angry. We can just stand up for the side of truth, as we see it, as we believe in love, in understanding and compassion, for unity, for the good of everybody. See, if in the households, let's say the father or the mother or somebody is being manipulative, deceiving, controlling, rather than us silently do nothing, we're totally contributing to the situation when we do nothing. We aren't innocent at all, not in the slightest bit. Some people say for anything that's happening in the world, we are partially responsible, for sure, and to different degrees. And I totally agree with this. If there's any starvation in Africa, if there's any abusiveness behavior in any of the houses on your road, which you'll never hear about, you and me are responsible to some degree. Now, I'm not trying to blame you or anybody. I'm not trying to get anybody upset. But to some degree, based on our previous behavior in life, how we treated people, our level of awareness and consciousness, how much we've been of the vibration of peace and love and forgiveness and understanding and compassion, that has affected everybody in the world and how each other treat each other. When we see somebody, when we are kind and people see it, we're contributing to making kindness more normal and more easily expressed. Whereas when we are mean or unforgiving or intolerant, we are contributing to this continuing in our society. It's like the child learns from what they see, not what they're told. The child learns from the adults, their parents, what they see them doing to each other and saying and behaving, not what they're told. And it's the same with adults. We learn from looking and observing the behavior of others. And we teach from our own behavior. So that's why we're responsible to some different degrees to the behavior in the world. So So I'd just like to say, if somebody in my family was being mean to another person, I would not say nothing. I would definitely say something. I may say a lot, to the point of until, basically speaking, to the point of until, as Dr. Phil used to say many years ago on television, to the point of until they get the point that I'm not going to put up with their abusive behavior, and if they don't change, they can get out, or I'll leave, like, depending on who it is, you know. I'm not going to put up with abusive behavior to anyone I love, like my family members, myself, my partner. I'll stand for the side of truth, love, and justice, and that includes, like, I love other people, of course, jeepers. If I saw somebody drowning, I'd definitely save them. If I did nothing, I'd be basically causing them to drown. Action and inaction are the same thing. They have definite effects in the world. So if someone says to somebody, you're an ugly so-and-so, and you say nothing, you're totally contributing to him continuing that person saying insults. Could be a woman saying that, of course. So right now you might think I'm a little bit more, like, if you're used to my videos, you might think I'm upset or agitated, but I'm not really. I'm more passionate and intense. I really care about this, but I'm not really upset. Am I upset? I'm not really upset, but I just have compassion and care for people, including myself. So I don't like it when people say nothing and stand by idly when there's misunderstandings happening and they don't take sides. Take side for truth and justice, as you believe. You don't have to be against anybody. Like, it's not like you're making enemies. So if I had two people who I know, my friends, and one of them, they're having a little bit of an argument or disagreement, I wouldn't say nothing. I'd take sides. But that phrase has a little bit of a bad connotation. See, usually people think take sides against. I'd take sides with truth and love and justice. Okay? So I just try and work for the benefit of everybody, for understanding and unity, for closeness and reconnectedness, not to have a disconnection last for long. So I try and make a reconnection happen as quickly as possible. And this is, like, pivotal in life. This is what spirituality and living is all about for me. Feeling connected, connection. Connected to your own emotions, connected to your own thoughts. Be aware of them, connected, not disconnected. You're connected to other people instead of disconnected. You're connected to them. You're empathic. Empathy. You feel for them because you are connected to them. You're not all separate from them. So you feel for their upset and sad or hurt. You're with them as a friend, not against them as an enemy. They're not a thorn in your life. They're a loving little person who you love like a child, who you want to help. They're not your enemy, they're your friend. People don't really get this occasionally people don't really get this in general, but sometimes people don't get this when I speak to them on Facebook. They might easily think that I'm being judgmental or attacking or disrespectful. But no, I'm never really disrespectful to anybody. And if I was, I'd say it. That's another thing. Admitting when you're wrong, no problem when you're wrong. It's just unconscious behavior. It's just habits and conditioning. So say sorry and reconnect quickly and say, sorry, I won't do it again. You know, sorry, I love you. I care for you. So I'm sorry that I did that. Didn't mean it. If I did mean it, let's say some people who are more unconscious, if you meant to try and hurt them, well then say, yeah, I did mean to try and hurt you. I'm sorry. I was an idiot. You can have a laugh about it. And then do your best to not do that anymore, you know. So no big deal saying you're wrong. No big deal saying you're right. It's not a big deal. Reconnect. Being connected with animals and nature. Being connected with Mother Earth. Connection. This is what spirituality is about. Connection with your higher self. And that's when you just have more of the blocks to your higher self removed. So the mud covering of unconsciousness is being washed away slowly. So that's what I like to think about it, like people being splashed by a big puddle of mud. This is what the ego is. It's the covering. Then you think that someone else is the muddiness. But it's not. The people are the beautiful, pure soul underneath. But it's just the mud of the ego we typically see, that's all. But no big deal there. Like, it's no big deal. Don't have to take any of this too seriously. So, here's your lovely birds. Beautiful. It's funny, I was going to guess it was around 10 minutes long, and I looked, it's like 9:49 when I looked. So yeah, like, just stand up for truth and justice. Be really truthful and real and honest and genuine and transparent. Communicate fully your truth. We can be friendly sometimes. We can be friendly nearly all of the time, expressing our truth. Occasionally, if people just don't get our friendliness and are like walking a little bit on eggshells, being really nice, Mr. Nice person, polite, and we're being trampled over or mistreated by people who are taking advantage of us and not appreciating us or being mean, well then no more Mr. Nice guy or girl, and you got to be really, really firm and let them know that you mean it. Seriously, I've done this, raising my voice, interrupting them, because they're basically just being like a tyrant to me, some people have in the past. And it was just totally unacceptable. And all my months and months and months of on and off Mr. Nice Guy type of behaviour didn't work. So I had to be extremely like firm and authoritative, like. And then that worked, and we reconnected. They said sorry. They got to understand and look at me for a change instead of being so self-centered and self-absorbed and selfish. They got to think about, well, what about Owen? Like, how? Like, they got to think about how is it affecting me, their behaviour, and their absence of behaviour too. So we got way closer. Sometimes you got to be firm. No harm in that. It's just an expression you can do from love and having them as a friend. It's not a friend to allow someone to be a tyrant. That's a horrible gift to them. Just do nothing and allow someone to be a tyrant is a horrible thing to do to them. It's like it's not a nice behaviour. So to stand up extremely firmly occasionally, or firmly, to stop abusive behaviour, even to stop mistreatment towards yourself or towards other people, instead of standing idly by. This is a good favour and an act of love and peace to help them to snap out of that selfish, mean and abusive behaviour, and to become more understanding and aware of the effects of their behaviour. Aww. Hello, little birdie. Beautiful fresh air. Beautiful fresh air. So, do you see the way I can like talk about something seriously that's passionate to my heart? But I can also then like laugh and smile and be light and present. We can practice and do this too. Smile and hug and kiss whatever a person we're talking to afterwards, maybe later after they cool down if they get defensive. And we can just say sorry ourselves. So that's my message today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be making more YouTube videos, I think, and a little bit less Facebook. A bit like Dan McDonald in the sense he doesn't really do Facebook. But I think videos are very nice and they live on and they're shared more. It's a bit more personal too than just reading something. You get to connect with me more. You get to see who I am a bit more than just reading me on Facebook, which is very interpretational. So as I say, peace, everybody. You too, including your enemies. I hope you have no enemies. But peace to anyone who seems to be a problem or thorn in your life. Just peace to everybody. Forgive them for the know not what they do. But let's not be an idly non-participating bystander to wrongness or injustice as we see it. Not to be against anything, but to be for love and justice and peace and wellness for everybody. Taking everyone into consideration in any situation. And speaking up. And not to be saying nothing when there's just mean stuff going on or bad stuff, you know. Just take a side. Not against, but for everybody. And for truth and justice and loveliness and reconnection. So, just to cap it off now, if ever I get into some sort of misunderstanding or an seemingly unfriendly disagreement, I like to reconnect and say sorry, or tell them what I want from them. If I feel they've been unfair or mean, I like to say that as soon as possible and just get it over with. No big deal, no baggage, no heaviness, no resentment. So if I'm wrong, as I see it, I might say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, like, love you, etc. Please forgive me, like, you know, sorry, didn't mean it, or did mean it, but I was an asshole. Who knows, you know. You're allowed to curse too, by the way. And if they're wrong, I'll say, hey, listen, I think you're just really mean and unfriendly to me. Like, I don't do this. Like, think about it if I did this to you. I try and help them to understand and put themselves in my position or another person's position. I say, like, I don't want to be carried on this way in a relationship, and like, none of my other friends treat me this way. So, like, if like, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be hanging around here being mistreated. But forgive you and I love you. But just try and change your ways. And if you don't, I'm out of here. I don't say it exactly like that, but more or less that's the gist. And I definitely used a lot of those words. And I don't come down like all like heavy saying, hey, I'm out of here. That's only if they've been mistreating me for a while, obviously. But yeah, just quickly, like say, hey, listen, man, like I don't like it when you do that. You just have to teach people how to treat you, basically. All right, thanks a lot, Anna, and thank you for all of your love that you do in the world and all of your understanding, all of your act of peace. But don't deny any like non-peacefulness you have in yourself. Like, don't deny the anger or bad feelings, obviously, too. So, yeah, thanks for standing on the side of love, like for peace. And thanks for taking sides for peace and for truth and for love, and not being a bystander that's doing nothing. Thanks for taking sides with things and with people. But really deep down, you're really with everybody. So continue doing that, and I'm going to continue doing that too. Like, I'm not going to let anybody or anything like be abused or killed. So that's another thing with the whole like animals, eating animals. Man, they're gorgeous little things. Like, they're like defenseless, innocent, pure children who are no defensiveness. And what if we just think because they're like our pets, like they feel like sadness and pain and loneliness, and they love love and kindness and warmth and affection. Man, like just contributing to them being killed or mistreated or enslaved, even in like nice, happy, organic, free-range farms, and then being killed, taken away from their families. That's hurtful. That's so sad and hurtful. They feel emotional suffering. So let's think twice about doing that, or maybe just look up Google or YouTube things about this to just get a bit more information. We don't need all this for our health. I don't believe it at all. Just raw living fruits and vegetables. You'll thrive emotionally and spiritually, along with detox, and get your organs back to health with herbs and stuff. So, like, man, don't be killing these birds here, you know. Just, that's not a loving thing to do, in my opinion. But I'm not going to attack you or judge you. I'm just saying. So let's just treat everybody and everything like a beautiful, 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 precious, divine little animal and creature and little baby, you know. Nurture them like a child, like a mother. Simple as that. So, thanks, and please feel welcome to share this video if you think it's going to be good for anybody. If you think anybody will be helped, and leave your lovely, loving comments below. Subscribe here up on the right, and thanks for all of your friendship and time. And until the next video, have a marvelous day, week, and year, and life. See ya.